I had already reached out to Governor Mills. I started that back in, I think, September.
And did you ever hear anything back from the Mills
So
administration?
the first 4 emails I sent, you get the
You're
email.
persistent.
Well,
Thank goodness you are.
that's one way of saying it. The first 4 emails I got, you get the thank you for contacting the.
Sure.
I got those, but then nothing.
Yeah.
So I reached out to Senator Collins' office and said, how help me? And she said, I'm going to knock on the door and tell him to. So then I started communicating with a staffer of the governor's. I never spoke with the governor. 14 times I reached out to that office.
Wow.
And I never, ever spoke with her.
Wow.
My questions were, who brought in the Maine Community Foundation? And what were the parameters around that work? This was 28% going to nonprofits. Is that acceptable? Would 50% going to nonprofits have been acceptable? And if it were 70%, would that be all right with you? They would not answer that question.
And at what level is it acceptable that all of this funding going to nonprofits is literally going to nonprofits that had nothing to do? I mean, I just keep coming back to that because you have to assume that these donors thought that their funds were going to help the victims one way or another, whether it was individually or the nonprofits. And at every turn, it was not.
Right. It wasn't until last August when I reached out to Governor LePage, former Governor LePage, and he and his daughter called me the next day, who was a rock star, Lauren. Yes, Lauren.
Yep.
That I learned the day after the shooting, former Governor LePage called our current Governor Mills and said, look, let's you and I raise funds. I'm the Republican, you're the Democrat. Let's do this together for the survivors and family members only.
Wow.
And she said, no, I'm getting the Maine Community Foundation to do that.
Wow.
She was offered to partner with him.
So we could have had a collaborative, bipartisan effort, but instead the Maine Community Foundation was brought in intentionally, and now we have a third of the funds that should have gone to the victims, misused, given to nonprofits that had nothing to do with the Lewiston shooting whatsoever.
And I was at the end of my rope by the time I spoke with him. I'm like, I don't know what else to do. And their pledge and promise to me was that they would shine a light on this. And at that moment, everything changed. They got me to Steve Robinson and Maine Wire, and they have taken this, and they care so much about me and the survivors and family members and this issue in this state.